Hi, welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. I want to thank you for arriving today with your beautiful energy and your beautiful collaboration spirit. I want to thank you for being a part of our growing online community. As you know, our intention is to inspire one another. You, as a contributor in our community, I have been praying for you. I have been praying over your life. This morning, I prayed for adventure and for a fulfilling spiritual journey. Also, finances. I've prayed over your peace. So, if you are here today, just know prayers are coming daily from me to you. And my intention is that you see those prayers grow, they flourish, and I know they will because my prayers are always answered. That is not a brag, that is a fact. My prayers are always answered, as are yours. And the whole purpose of our podcast is to encourage one another and actually bring awareness to how our prayers are being answered continually. They're being answered according to our faith. That's the thing. So for me, when I'm praying for abundance, for peace, for opportunity, for obstacles to be removed, I'm praying with that intention. I'm believing that that's going to happen for you. So it will happen for you because I believe it will. So with that being said, again, thank you for being here. And I really want to get straight into our message today. You know, God actually woke me up a few days ago with this message. And even though my intention was to get in and converse about it like right away as soon as I got the message, it didn't happen quite like that. And now I see in hindsight, it didn't happen because today was a day for me to get into it. I don't even know the title, but what God showed me was that we need to do a series, if you will, on grieving. And I'm just feeling that it's going to be maybe like 3 parts. I don't know. I'm just speaking out loud, but just a sensation when he woke me and asked me to discuss, to encourage someone out there is grieving. And just know this is for you. God laid it on my heart. You know, first, I want to just say, I'm praying that God has comforted you, my brother, my sister, who finds themselves grieving. And I'm sensing that this is grieving the loss of a loved one. So whether you're grieving right now, maybe the loss of a job or a home or some other material possession, I feel like this conversation is led more towards the loss of a loved one. And so I'm speaking to you. You know, something that I have told not only my children, but my parents and my close friends is this. When it's my time to go and when I am gone, please know that I am grieving you who have to stay here. I don't know what your faith is. I don't know if you believe in heaven. I don't know if you believe in any afterlife at all, but I can only speak to what I know is true. And what I know is true because God has shown it. Not only has He revealed it biblically, but He has actually shown it to me. So here's my testimony. You know, I know that in the Bible, it is spoken about heaven and how there's no pain and how we are restored. And I have read books on someone who actually died and went to heaven. And I don't know if the book was titled something about 60 minutes in heaven, something about, I think it was something along those lines, but I read it when I was very young. I mean, like a teenager. And in all honesty, I read only a fraction of it. He was actually a pastor who had passed away for what he felt was like an hour. And he said that he just simply went to bed that night and he died in his sleep. And he said the interesting thing is he was married and he and his wife had always spoke about when whoever went first, whether it was him or her, he said that, for instance, when I go, I am going to make it my life's mission while I'm in heaven to get back to you and let you know that I am okay. I'm going to do whatever it takes to let you know that I've made it on the other side and all is good. So when this pastor died, he said, this is what he saw. He said there was a grand golden gate. And he said, and outside of that gate was his grandfather. And he said he looked just like his grandfather, although he had no wrinkles in his face. He said his grandfather had always walked like hunched over. He said, but in heaven, his grandfather was upright. He was completely restored. And he said, as he approached his grandfather, he said he could hear wings above him, swooshing. And he said he never looked up, and that is his regret, is that he never looked up, but he could just sense that it was angels just flying above. He said also the music, the sound of heaven sounded as if there were like 100 beautiful albums of different music, but playing completely in harmony and in sync. He said, and the colors are unlike anything we have here on earth. Vibrant, unexplainable. You could not explain what they look like, what they were here with this language. And he said that as he was greeted with his grandfather, he says they had turned to enter the gate. And he said in that moment, he woke up and he was back in his bed. And what he said, the most interesting thing, even though if heaven wasn't grand enough and that was before he even entered the gate, he said he never once thought of his wife, not a single moment. And he said, he explained it like this. The reason is because had I been pining over the fact that, oh my goodness, I need to now get this to my wife, that I'm okay, that I'm safe. He says, just in doing that, that would have produced agony. That would have produced pain and striving to do something where there was nothing left to be done, but simply enjoy, simply be in bliss. And I thought, wow, like that is something. that even in this beautiful grand state of just peace, anything that was not peaceful never even occurred in his mind. And so allow that to sink in. Heaven is complete nirvana, bliss, pain-free, worry-free, ecstasy, words that I can only imagine that don't exist here. But here's what I've experienced. And it happened to me twice. Now stay with me. One morning I was taking a stroll. It was about 10 in the morning and it was a spring day, and I was just walking down the street taking in the birds chirping, and I was in awe of springtime, and I was looking at the trees and the flowers in bloom. And all of a sudden I was hit in my chest with a ton of bliss. Like it almost felt literally like a ton of bliss had landed on my chest. And immediately I grabbed for a tree. I leaned against a tree and I could barely catch my breath. And I was like laughing, kind of, because I couldn't catch my breath. I was certainly crying, tears of joy. And it was almost like I couldn't get the words out, but the sensation, I knew exactly what it was because I read it in the Bible. It was just a peace and a bliss that was like heavenly sent, where God says it is like crushing peace. It is like crushing ecstasy on you. Like the amount of, God, I'm sorry to say, but there's no other word, bliss that heaven is, would be crushing to our physical body. It felt like to my soul. I felt like a ton of bliss on me, so crushing, where all I could do was laugh and cry, barely though, because I was being crushed under the weight of peace and happiness and joy and nirvana and ecstasy and bliss. And I couldn't even take it. That moment lasted, I'm not even kidding, maybe 15 seconds, if that, like maybe 10 seconds, because I could not take the amount of bliss that was put on my chest, that was put on my life in that moment. And I knew in that moment what God was doing. He was showing me, giving me a glimpse of what heaven is like in this moment, perhaps for this very moment, so that I could share it with you, you that are grieving. I can't tell you the beautiful sensation that I experienced. It was out of this world. Think of whatever amount of pain, the biggest amount of pain that you've ever been in your life. Think about that pain, but in reverse, times like, I don't know, 1,000,000. Like it was unreal. And I thank you, God, for giving it to me. It happened again, maybe about 1.5 years later, and it happened for a little bit longer, maybe about 45 seconds this time. And I was able to take that bliss in. There was a time not too long ago where God had revealed that sensation to me. And I could sense him saying this to me. He was saying, "You're not ready for this level of bliss." you're not ready for this. And he's, I suppose, absolutely right. Can you imagine the weight of a ton of joy on you? So much so that it crushes you, that it takes your breath away. Well, that is what heaven is like. I've felt it. He's given it. And it is exactly how he describes. It is a crushing amount of ecstasy that will quite literally take your breath away. It felt like it could have snuffed my life out. It was so vast, so massive, and so tremendously incredible and beautiful. I am so utterly just grateful for the experience. Mostly so that I can share it here. So if you've lost someone, ask yourself, what is your faith? What is your belief? Do you believe in a heaven? Do you believe in life after death? Meaning that is the real life? This right here is merely the stretch before the big game? And now, if you have lost someone, they are finally living, really, truly living. They are completely restored. They are completely renewed. They are now staring in the face of the Almighty. They are now able to fellowship with the Creator of the universe. My goodness, what is there to grieve, really? And I don't want to take your pain away. Yes, grieve that things have changed. You will not see them on this earth, but the good news is you will see them again. That is my intention. That one day, when it is your day, your loved one will meet you restored at the heavenly gates. This is not some fantasy. This is not some fairy tale. Heaven is realer than this earth that we live on today. Far realer, tremendously grander. Finally out of pain, finally in the deepest peace, finally you will be able to look into the eyes of the Almighty. When I think about it, oh wow, I weep because I just can't wait for me personally to throw myself at God's feet and just finally say, I'm home. I made it safe. I survived that crazy place. I really want to say how I survived that shithole, but I know I'm not going to say that. But I survived. And now I'm home. And I can just fellowship with you? Are you serious? It's just, God, what is there to grieve? And so that's what I tell my children. Don't, be grieving me because I'm grieving you. And the truth is, we know I won't be grieving them. because that would create pain, and there's no pain in heaven. So, yeah, don't grieve for me. I even say, I've told all my children, when it's my time to go, I just want a beautiful celebration. I don't want nobody wearing black. Everybody wear white. White candles lit all over. I want white shears and white lace, and I want pictures of me on my travels all around the world. And I just want celebration stories of my life because, it has been a beautiful celebration. That's what I want. And I want you to be encouraged if you've lost someone recently. Just know God has promised to restore, to make better than, for it to be a beautiful existence after this life. Will you believe? Do you believe? If you believe in God, if you believe in heaven, ask yourself today, what are you truly grieving? Can you be comforted by God's incredible truth? And I'm here to tell you, it is true. He has revealed it to me. And I think I know why now. To encourage you, my dear loved one. If you have lost someone, I am praying for your comfort. I am praying for your encouragement. I am praying that God reveals Himself to you. I am praying that you feel God's warmth, that you feel His shelter, and just know God has sent this message for you so that you know it is true. Your family is restored. Your family is in bliss. Your family ain't got no worries. You got more worries than your family do. So please be encouraged. If this message wasn't for you, I'm praying that you're still encouraged, because we will all be there one day. We will all lose someone. And hopefully this encourages you and it prepares you so when that day comes, you can speak these faith words into someone near you. Maybe you know someone who's grieving today. Please share this with them. God is intending this message for them. I'm telling you, someone out there grieving, and I'm telling you, I feel like there's going to be another video. I don't know. I think I just shared everything I needed to share, but you know how God works. I'm sure He'll have more for us. Thank you again for joining me today. Please go be encouraged. Please continue to share if you haven't done so yet. Consider subscribing. If you have any questions, you can reach me. I'm available on Instagram at The Ultimate Love Letter, also on Threads at The Ultimate Love Letter, and TikTok at Joe Galvan. I have also opened up one-on-one coaching sessions. I'm going to link the details in the description of this video. So if you are grieving and you want to talk about it one-on-one, I'm available. And if you're not grieving and you have anything on your heart that you feel maybe confused about and maybe need a little assistance, and guidance and directions, I'm here to serve. Please reach me. I'm here to help. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat soon. Mwah. Bye for now.